What would it feel like to stop performing peace and be in it? Not just doing it and going through the motions, but feeling at home in yourself. I notice right now my voice is a little shaky because I think that I've really been experiencing this and the parallel that we've been doing the challenge around surrender and release, and it just lines up so perfectly in my own life. Yesterday was my sweet daughter's 13th birthday. It's been really touching and connecting for me because I'm thinking about the Dara that was 13 years old. And this morning I dropped my son off at sleepaway camp, and then there he is, his almost 11-year-old self, going and being independent. And I just see my kids as these beautiful humans that have this space of braveness, like braver than me. And that to me is like surrender, because I had a moment the other day when it was like I felt mom guilt because I'm doing okay. Other times when they were away, like because they were away last week, I felt anxious, I felt panicky, and I didn't feel that this time. What I felt is in me, and I feel like I have my own identity, where before it's been wrapped up in them, like being their mom and thinking that I have to be a martyr and do everybody else instead of my own needs. But really, I was just taking myself and abandoning from me, like abandoning, just like leaving myself so I didn't have to deal. And this week, I just kept finding myself saying, stay, just stay in the wave and ride it out, even when I did have any thought of feeling. I mean, life doesn't just stop because we think it's peaceful. A couple weeks ago, we went away, and I have this reminder that goes off at 7 in the morning, and it says, I didn't go to Michigan looking for Michigan. I went to Michigan looking for me, and I'm home, I'm in me. And since I brought that back with me, it feels like the theme this week for me has been stay and being at home in myself. And that moment of the mom guilt, it dissipated. It left, and it fled, and it moved, because I'm good with me. And that's a new feeling. That's not just performing and doing it. That's just knowing that it is where you're at. And that's what the shift is. I'm Dara, I'm a psychologist, and I'm a shift coach, and I'm a mom. And I have the privilege of hanging out and showing up with you and sharing my experience clinically and personally. And I'm getting that that's bigger. That's bigger because life isn't always easy, And I remember when Elia was born 13 years ago. And there were these parts of me that were born, my femininity and my sense of peace and adventure. I was always too scared to express womanness, or even in the way that I dressed. I think I saw it as insecurity. And when she arrived, it was like permission to be me. And, you learn so much about yourself in a relationship too. Being in relation with their dad for many years really has you taking a look at yourself and taking on a new role. I didn't even know if I was meant to be a mom because I didn't have her till almost 38. I was a couple months shy of 38, and then had Nevin a couple months shy of 40. So I didn't know. I was trying to control the world. I even considered and I tried having sperm babies and doing artificial insemination to try to control it. And I got pregnant. And then this beautiful miracle showed up, and I named her Elia Grace. And as I've been, experiencing her birthday week, before it was like just such a reflection of the 13-year-old who I was, of the insecurity and the lack of confidence and not having a sense of self. And I'm not even sure she was happy. I don't recall a happy connection. And I only wish that for my daughter. And I've been wishing that for me. I've been wishing to find that girl. And as I've navigated some different experiences recently, that's who I've been tending to. That 13-year-old girl who feels a sense of disconnection, dysregulation, and not feeling at home. And that's not where it's at now. So that 13-year-old, she knows she's safe, and now I get to show up for my daughter in different ways. And it's not always pretty. A lot of times it's ugly. And this is surrender to me. This is not holding on so tight and having to control it. Just knowing there's something beyond me, bigger, not because it's like almighty, do everything, but because you just trust. When Elia was born, there was this piece of trust. And Nevin going to camp is this piece of trust. And them being away from me for several days is trust, and knowing that I have done the momming. I have installed these things in them so that they can have independence. And more than that, I've installed these pieces in me so that I can have independence. Even as I'm talking through with you, there's still like this spot inside of me, almost like emotional, because this matters to me so much. And I know that people don't always feel this sense of peace with it. And so to sit in quiet and reflect on it before they came home the other day, it was so amazing to me because I was just kind of moving slow, like just taking in the peace and the quiet, noticing that I missed them because I wanted to be with them, not because I needed to. And there were so many times in other relationships that the validation and the connection was out of a sense of need, looking to other people to fill my love cup instead of filling my own, just kind of like checking in with my own body. I grew up in a really chaotic environment, and now I understand why my nervous system for so long was like, ah, and live wires. And what's cool for me now is that it craves the peace and it craves the quiet. And even as a badass, hardcore, go-getter, do things person, I still can be that and find a space of slowing it down so that I can show up to things with such presence and appreciate it. And I am interested in how that's landing for other people and what's going on for them. And that's kind of the mission in this, the reason, so that we can all flow through this. I've never been like a big groupie person where I want to sit around and talk about like the woos and the things that aren't working. I'm definitely like the kind of person that's like, all right, you got a problem? Let's find a solution and move. But what's different is when it's landing in your body and you're finding peace, having fun in the quiet moments. And I realized while the kids were gone, and as I've been honoring my daughter before her birthday, of her birth, of the energy, of the love that she is, that it's really about honoring me, like turning around and being like, I did this. And I wonder what you're doing. And that's what the shift is. That's what creating this anchor and being at home in yourself is. It's being at peace, even no matter what's going on in the world. And knowing that you can land and you can be still, and you can be a badass, and you can be successful and make things happen, but doing it in a way that your system is not scurrying. And that, my friends, is the shift. So I'll continue to invite you along the journey with me, and I'm interested to know where things are showing up for you. As I honored my daughter, I still am, because we get to celebrate all week while Nevin's at camp. And it just feels really big. Like it feels like sequential to the experiences that we've been having lately. We celebrated our life together on a trip, and they had some sense of independence for them. And I've had some time for myself, and now I have some special time with my daughter while my son goes and conquers the world, literally. And then we'll come back together and continue. And I think that I get to show up for them, and they get to have different appreciation, and I get to be available. So keep tracking, keep following, share, subscribe. Let me know how we can continue to connect and make the shift happen for you.